Thank you. I have to make an admission. I didn't watch the videos on presentations, so if I sucked this morning, that's evidence that you should watch those videos. Now, how do I get to my presentation? Thank you. Oh, perfect. And get cues too. This is great. So thank you for having me this morning. See if I can make this work. It does. If I don't use the microphone, can you hear me? Yes. There are generally three kinds of people in business and in the world. Those who make things happen, those who watch things that are happening, and those who say, what just happened? So which one are you? Now I assume most of you are here because you want to be number one. You want to be somebody who makes things happen. So how do you become somebody that makes things happen? How do you make those changes? How do you change who you are, change your behavior, so that you can be more one person that makes things happen? Your choice obviously always is, can you change, or change is hard. One of the reasons not everybody is somebody that makes things happen is because change is very hard. Everybody wants changes, but not a whole lot of people want to change, and that makes it very difficult. So your choices are to stay the same or to change. If you want to become more successful, if you want to become more fulfilled, if you want to make more money. And if you don't change, what happens to you? In today's world, with the way things do change so quickly around you, the things you have no control over, you better be changing or you're not going to be here very long. How do you build that change? I thought I removed these slides, but I'll go over them anyway. How many people have read Thinking Get Rich? How about The Power of Positive Thinking? Both these books and the whole school of discipline comes from changing your attitude, changing the way you perceive things. Change the way you think about them, become more positive in your everyday thinking, and success will follow that. I don't believe a positive attitude has ever created success in anybody. I believe success creates a positive attitude. And how do you do that? The lesson I learned was about a long time ago, 1971 to be exact. A friend of mine and I from New York City, and that's me on the left, one with the ribs. We took a trip through the United States and through Mexico, and ended up in a place called Big Sur, California. Anybody ever been there? It's just gorgeous, isn't it? We stayed at a national park there, and Neil and I were very pragmatic. So whenever we got to an area, we would look a place to set up our tent close to the bathrooms because we like to drink beer. So as we reconnoitered the area, we found a place to set up our pup tent. This was our domicile that summer. So that night we drank some beer, went to bed, I'm sleeping in the tent. Somewhere in the middle of the night I hear a whoop! It wakes me up. And I don't know what it is. I go back to sleep. A couple minutes later, another whoop! Wakes me up, wakes Neil up. So we look out the flap, and I should tell you this. Across the gravel road from us, where the cinder block building was to house the bathrooms and the showers, there was a dumpster out front. And up the road, about 25 feet from us, was a pack, and I'm sure there's a name for wild boar in the group, I don't know what it is, but there was a group of wild boar. And every couple minutes, one of them would take off and run down the road and charge this dumpster. And it would rock back against the wall and then come back down again. Obviously, they were trying to knock it over to get to the garbage. And they kept doing this. And Neil and I just sat there looking at them in disbelief. Meanwhile, out of the darkness, climbing down from the trees, onto the roof of the building, down to the top of the dumpster, come a bunch of raccoons. And there's a name for them too, and I think it's cave or cove, I can't remember. But anyway, a bunch of raccoons come down. Two of them lift the lid. A couple of them go inside, they start lifting out the garbage. They get the garbage they want, and they take off into the night. Meanwhile, back at Migraine Central, the wild boar keep taking their runs and hitting that thing. Effort is important, but knowing where to make that effort makes all the difference. Working smart. Everybody has a choice every day. Are you going to work like a wild boar? Or are you going to work like a raccoon? Raccoons end up happy. You can see that smiling raccoon there. Wild boar end up like this. So what I learned from that lesson, that took me years for it to ferment in my mind until it really dawned on me, probably about 30 years, is there are 3 elements to success. Vision, plan, and action. Both the wild boar and the raccoon had a vision. They wanted the garbage. They both had plans. The raccoon's plan worked. The wild boar plan didn't work. What could they have done to adjust their plan? Because they probably do that every night and never get that garbage. What could they have done with all that effort they were putting in? How about hitting the thing from the side and moving it out and then knocking it over? But they had a plan that didn't work. They both worked very hard. They both had the action. I equate this to a 3-legged stool. And what happens to a 3-legged stool when you remove one of the legs? Everybody drink coffee. Come on. What happens when you remove a leg? Falls over. So the 3 legs are vision, plan, and action. They're the three simple elements that I have found that lead to success. You can talk about all kinds of other stuff, 7 habits of a fundamentally brilliant, whatever, all those things, but it really comes down to these 3 things. And you can write it another way is inspiration, preparation, perspiration, organize, prioritize, and actualize. I've used all those. But what it comes down to, whoops, did I get there? Without the why, the how doesn't matter. So you have to start with the why you're doing. Anybody here ever hear of Simon Sinek? He wrote, it's not what or how you do things that matters. What matters more is that what and how you do things is consistent with your why. He's written a book called Start With Why. He's also did a TED Talk on YouTube. If you want to watch it, you don't have to read. But his whole point is he used what he calls the golden circle. And it starts with why in the middle, moves out to how, and the what. And I equate this back to what I just told you, the 3-legged stool. The why. The why is the vision. You got to know where you're going. If you're going to take a trip, you got to know where you're going. The how is the plan. You got to figure out how you're going to get there. And then the what is the action. What are you doing about it? So how, what, why, how, what? Action, plan, vision, action, plan. It all comes down to simple disciplines, very simple discipline. It's the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Or as John Maxwell said, motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you growing. Thank you.